there's any from the thing. Anybody want to talk? We have it ready.
Good morning and welcome to the August Village on the Green All Residents Meeting hosted by the Residents Council. Here, let's see, I want to give a special welcome to any of the first-time people that are here for the first time. If that's you, would you wave your hand so we can welcome you? There we go. Okay, thank you. That's Gus, who is probably attending his 10,000th meeting, but we're glad to have him here. So any new residents or anything like that, we are glad to have you here.
Linda.
Oh, Linda. Linda Parkinson. There you are. Well, I think she came last time. She's a go-getter for sure. Okay. Also want, and hi Kathy, good to have you with us too. I want to welcome everyone also who will be watching us on the app or online at some point in time, because Lucy is recording back there and we will have a permanent record of today's meeting. I'm sure you will be disappointed, as I was, to learn that Amy Morales is no longer with us as Lifestyle Director. She has decided that the position was not a good fit for her, and so she has left us, which is disappointing. I will miss her sparkly personality and her enthusiasm, but we wish her well wherever she's headed. As a side note, she lives south of the theme parks, so the commute to get here had to be part of what she was thinking about as well when she decided that this was not a good fit. In the interim, Angela and Kelly from the Oaks are filling in again, and I've talked to Jim about being sure that they are connected with residents, including the Lifestyle Committee and various others, to be sure that the offerings are things that the residents are interested in having, following up on our good report that Richard will tell us a little bit about later, of collecting information about the activities we like and the activities we'd like to see in the future. So that is coming up next in our VOTG life. Okay, here's what's coming today. Pam, who I don't see at the moment, but I confirmed yesterday will be here, has 3 things to tell us from Home Health and Personal Services. Then Becca is here to tell us a couple of things about finances that I wanted to be sure that she shared with us. Then I'll be telling you about the ad hoc committee on communications. Richard will tell you about the activities, the resident activities review report and all the information that was collected within the last month. And we'll tell you some highlights from Lifestyle. And Jerry will tell you about her upcoming seminar on tax smart donations. And then Stan, as always, will close us out with whatever wisdom is currently available on electronic communications. Okay. Reporting to you from the Residents Council. On our meeting last week, August the 7th, we voted to revise the standing rules that govern the Residents Council itself. These are now posted, the new revised version, on the Uniguest app under the Residents Council tab, so that you can read the 12 pages if you would like to. I thought that might be better than putting it on the screen for us to read in the meeting, or handing you a paper copy of it. We can get you a paper copy of it if you would like, but it is on the app. The revisions relate to the election process, which we do every fall, electing new building and villa reps. And are you here on behalf of Pam? Okay. And the elected committee chairman. You remember that we have 6 elected committee chairmen. This was a change in the bylaws that we made last year, so I'm going to say what they are just to refresh your memory. These are 6 members now of the Residents' Council, along with the building and villa reps. They are culinary, plant operations, lifestyle, health and wellness, sales, and who'd I forget? Oh, finance, sorry. It's like the 7 dwarfs. I can always name 6 of them, but then there's one that escapes me. So finance will be our 7th dwarf this time. Okay. So our goal in revising the bylaws was to shorten the election process. It felt like last year that it went from September into December, and that was an awful long time for us to be focusing on this. And so it's now focused most on things being accomplished by the October All Residents meeting and the November All Residents meeting. So it condenses it down to 2 months instead of the 4 months where we were. It also put in a nice section that Joy wrote. Is Joy here? Joy Sakaitis put in a tremendous amount of time on this, and when you see her, thank her, because she's got a lot of good expertise and she put in a lot of effort and ended up getting sick afterwards. So thank you, Joy, for putting this together. She wrote a great last section about the process for revising standing rules in the future, because we were operating a little bit blind, and now it's pretty clear how that should be done if we're going to do it again in the future. This is something, a standing rules revision can happen just at the resident council level. Bylaws revisions happen at the all community level. And so if we were proposing that, which we did last year at this time, a vote would be taken by everybody in the community. But we didn't touch the bylaws this time, so there was no need for the community to vote on all those things. Okay, anybody have any questions on standing rule revisions? Okay. Then here's Missy to talk about what Pam was going to talk about. There are 3 things that I told Pam that we needed some reminders or some information on, and these are they.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me, everybody. Pam apologizes that she was unable to make it, but she got pulled to one of our southern communities for an emergency. So it's always refreshing that Village on the Green team members seem to lead Life Space and need our assistance and guidance. So some of the things she asked me to touch on: when a resident falls, how to respond. So I guess I'll get some questions or answer some questions, but in general, if you, like in a common space, if you fall in the dining room, we would not want anyone to assist you up who is a non-clinician, okay? So if they're not a nurse, a therapist, an EMT, we would want to have our culinary team members who are amazing and never trained on how to make a physical assessment call 911 and have the paramedics come out to do an evaluation. If they assist somebody up off the floor, unintentionally, not knowing, pulling on your shoulders, having you step on a hip that may be fractured, they can by doing that, they can make the fracture worse. Your shoulder joint is one of the weakest joints that you have, so if you lift somebody up with their arms, it could pop it out of socket if it's not done appropriately. In your apartment, if you fall, once again, we're gonna really want paramedics to come out and do an evaluation and assist you off the floor. I love and appreciate our security, but some of our security officers are maybe straight out of high school, straight out of college, very polite young people that have literally no experience with someone who fell, right? And so if they assist you up, they could have more harm to you than good. So they should be calling 911, the paramedics should come out and help you up. Now, if it's during the day, and I may run to your apartment, but that cannot be a guarantee. There's only one missing. So when in doubt, call 911. Any questions? Is that good?
My understanding, don't go away, is that if the person can get themselves up, that's acceptable. Like if you can put a chair close enough for them to use. But it's true, and you all know, it's our first response to want to help when somebody goes down. And that's often more harmful than helpful. So that's why I asked Pam and Missy to remind us of this. We had an incident during the exercise class a few weeks ago, and we all wanted to help, but that wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah, when I was talking about getting help, I was specifically talking about team members, residents. Please do not help your neighbors. I know that we have those neighbors out there that call you and say, help, help, help. The best way that you can help is really calling 911, because you're absolutely correct. And we have had this happen, is when I've had a neighbor or someone try to help, then at least in my tenure here, at least 3 times, that person ends up on the ground with them as well. And when they've ended up, because the movement that you're doing, you're helping them like this, then that person tipped over and hit their head, and now I have a head injury. So I would prefer just either have a clinical team or call 911. Honestly, call 911, those are the professionals, and we will have them help in any way that they can. Any questions?
Next.
All right, COVID tests at home. When we have an outbreak like we have, we're seeing the COVID rates. Who's been with me the entire COVID? 5 years, okay? I have said for 5 years, COVID's not going away. Where we have been fortunate is the severity of your symptoms when you do get COVID seem to have been decreased. So when we start to see an elevation in the community transmission rates, meaning we're seeing more and more people get COVID, whether that's at Village on the Green, Seminole County, nationwide, and you call because you have cold-like symptoms, when Pam comes out and tests you, we are not, I can assure you, we are not charging, Javi, Becca, we're not charging for those COVID tests, okay? Now, if in 3 months there's no COVID, there's really not a spike, and you call and say, hey, you know, I think I want to test for COVID, at that point, maybe, but right now we're having a significant increase in the transmission rate of COVID, so there is no charges, okay? There's also some questions in regards that I've received lately is, well, I thought it was allergies. New onset allergies in your 70s, 80s, and 90s don't typically occur. So if you've had seasonal allergies your entire life, then it could be allergies. But if you all of a sudden have new runny nose, new scratchy throat, and you're like, oh, it's just allergies, it's probably not just allergies. It is probably COVID, okay? Which is okay. Right now, the symptoms related to COVID are headache, runny nose, scratchy throat. Anyone who's had it has told me it's very scratchy, it hurts. The new variant that is out is known for the sore throat. Dizziness, lightheadedness, those are all the symptoms. I was with a resident Friday who was dizzy, had the chills, and a runny nose. And they're like, well, I always have a runny nose. But you're not always dizzy, and you're not always have the chills. Let me take a test, and it ended up they were COVID positive. So if you have questions about your symptoms, please call either myself or Pam or the home health phone. If I had $1 for everyone's like, no, it's just allergies, I may have actually retired by now because it's actually COVID. which is fine. The symptoms are significantly less, which is a blessing. And the rate of hospitalizations are decreasing. I had questions yesterday in regards to the COVID vaccine. We really take the guidance from CMS, that's the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and the CDC. In years past, we've had the recommendation to get that second booster shot. So we had one in like September, October, and then we would do another clinic in like April or May. This year, that recommendation did not come out. I'm still waiting for guidance, so most of us have only had that one COVID shot back in last October. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but we haven't had an outbreak like we have seen, an increase in transmission rate when we were doing 2 of the boosters, but it's not recommended. So, I don't know, maybe there's a correlation, maybe not, I don't know. But we will be having in October again, every year I schedule a flu clinic, and if it is recommended, I will make sure that we have COVID shots here as well. We also have the RSV shots at the clinic and pneumonia shots, so we'll make sure that we're covered. I always get phone calls because at the end of August, beginning of September, CVS, Walgreens will start giving the influenza. I'm not a fan of you getting it in August or September. The length of the flu shot that is effective usually covers about 3 to 4 months. So if you get the flu shot at the end of August, the September, October, November, the end of December, the peak flu season in the state of Florida is usually January and February. So wait until October. That'll cover you October, November, December, January, and February. Make sure you're all happy and healthy for the holidays with your families, and that's my goal. Anything else? Isolation, you want me to talk about isolation with COVID? If you are COVID positive, okay, we recommend that you stay in your apartment for a minimum of 5 days. So if I test positive today and I have no symptoms, today is day 0. I would then tomorrow, so Thursday would be day 1, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is day 5. I can come out of my apartment on day 6. Okay, that's making sure that your symptoms are improving. If on day 6 you're still running 102 fever, please don't come out. Stay at home, get some fluids, get some rest. If you come out and you still have a runny nose, wear a mask, wash your hands. If you're really feeling better, you can come out on day 6. Any questions about COVID? Who thought 5 years I'd still be talking about COVID? I got it. And then last but not least, the importance of the emergency information. Does everybody on their refrigerator in their apartment have that red folder with the emergency information? If you do not, I need you to reach out to Pam so we can get that information. The importance of that is if 911 is called and we need to get into your apartment, all of the important information on whether you have a DNR, your living will, who are we to notify, all of that's should be in that red folder. We certainly do not want you to end up at the hospital and they're doing full CPR, they're putting you on a ventilator and sitting at home on your desk was the do not resuscitate, and we have not honored your wishes. Make sure that all of the important information, who do we contact? Do you want your daughter called? Do you want your son called? Do you want your cousin twice removed called? Who's your family physician? Have you changed doctors in the last year? Make sure that that's updated so that we can, if we need to, make sure we're coordinating that. Or the hospital knows who your physician is so they can reach out to them. Because we send all that information to the hospital with the paramedics.
The other form is the one that we needed to send in most recently. medication and all those kind of things.
Yeah, so that must
The
be
form that was due earlier this week that talks about if you will evacuate in the case of a hurricane, if you have medication that needs to be refrigerated, if you are on oxygen, all of that. It's a one-page form. It's been circulating in the community. Your building reps should have handed it out to you and collected it back, or had you send it to Sandy Gavartini, who's collecting all of this, and the last ones were due in on Monday this week. So if you've not done that, please pass this on to her, so the community will know that if we have a direct hit coming and we need to evacuate, which we have not, but it could happen, they'll know how many people need to be transported to hotels, for example, and how many will be going to family members or something like that, and where the medication needs to go that will be refrigerated in case we lose power. There are certain places in our community that are always powered by generator, but it might not be your apartment. So if you have that kind of medication, they need to know this, and that's the purpose of that form, is just to track what the situation would be, to meet our needs in a worst case scenario, which we hope we will not have.
Yeah, if we lose power, your apartments are powerless. None of the apartments or villas are hooked up to generator. So that list is essential, that if we lose power, and if you're on oxygen, that way we know, and one of our team members can come out and assist you up to the Longwood room or over to the Oaks to get you hooked up in a common area, so that you have your oxygen. If you have a specialty, any specialty equipment that you use, a CPAP, a BiPAP, I don't think we have too many people with like specialty mattresses on their beds, but any electrical equipment that you utilize for your health and wellness, please put that down so that we know. Because if you lose power, and it has happened, we've had a nice little party up here in the Longwood room where people are hooked up to their concentrators, and then that allows me to know how much additional oxygen tanks during an emergency situation I may need to order. Because when I order oxygen for the Oaks, I only order for our residents on a normal weekly basis for the residents at the Oaks. But during an emergency, I get a little extra just in case. So that allows me to know how much more I need to order in case of those emergencies.
Thank you so much.
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a question in regard to when EMTs are called. Is there a standard hospital that folks are taken to around here, or does it vary, and how do the other
So,
people know?
Advent Health Altamont is the closest. So, in an emergency situation, if you've fallen and broken your hip, you're having chest pain, it is the protocol of emergency systems to go to what we refer to as the nearest receiving facility. So even though you may like South Sem, which is now the new Lake Mary Hospital, if it's a critical emergency situation, they're going to take you to the nearest ER that's accepting. Now, there are times that the ER is full at Advent, and you could be rerouted to the next nearest receiving facility, which would be the Lake Mary, or what used to be called South Sem. But I would argue, if it's a non-emergent, like not critical life or death, and you say, I would prefer to go to Advent, or I would prefer to go to South Sem, the EMTs at that time will make the clinical judgment if that's safe to take you to your preferred. But 9 times out of 10, if it's an actual emergency, they're going to take you to the facility that is closest, which would be Advent Health or Florida Hospital Altamont.
Thank you.
Thank you, Missy. Ready to move on? Okay. Becca's going to give us some financial scoop.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And we're glad Hallie came, but we don't want to hear from him. We want to hear from Becca.
I'm just hiding.
Becca is our new Director of Finance here at Village on the Green. If you have not seen her before, here she is. Her office is down the hall in the annex, kind of across from the card room, I think.
Yeah, where's the pool?
The pool table.
Yeah.
Okay, across from the pool table. So when you're over there, you can stop over and see her.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, if I haven't met you, my name is Becca. I've met a lot of you guys, but like she said, you can come find me and chat. So just have a few things to cover with you guys. One is going to be using our payment portal. I've learned a lot of people don't know we have a payment portal. So I am more than happy to sit down with you individually and help you discover the portal and the benefits of that if you need. You can see all of your statements on the portal. You can pay directly to the portal. The benefit of that is I know a lot of you are using bill pay through your bank. There are some issues sometimes where they're holding those checks until the end of the month. And then when we are processing the billing here, it appears on your invoice that you owe 2 months. But that's not the case because I received your bill, your check from bill pay after we ran invoices. So when you log into the portal, you can see exactly how much is due on your account. So say you got that invoice and it looks like there are 2 months due on that. Logging into the portal, it'll show you exactly how much is due. You can pay with your bank account information. You can pay with a credit card, a debit card. Important note with credit cards, however, there is a 3% processing fee, so do keep that in mind. But again, if you need any help or would like to look into this further, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you guys. Then the second thing is renter's insurance. You may have seen or heard that we are needing your renter's insurance. I've had a few people turn in just like bank statements proving that you paid it. I need the actual policy. I need the date ranges that it's covered, and when it expires, I need a new one. So this is going to be continuing homework for you guys every single year. I have a spreadsheet tracking it, so I can definitely help you guys and remind you of when I'm needing it updated, but this is something that we're needing every year. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you need the whole policy, and sometimes they're very, very long, or just the name of who the carrier and the dates and so on? What's helpful?
Yeah, so if I can have the whole policy, that would be fantastic. You can email it to me, you can drop it off to myself, Sandy, or Sue, whatever is most convenient for you. But having the full policy definitely helps us because we're able to see what your coverage rates are, as well as the date ranges of the coverage.
Would we get it back?
Yeah, I'll just take a copy of it and hand it right back to you. Yes, sir.
What about flood insurance? If you have a flood policy, do you want to see that too?
That's not required. If you want to provide it for us, that'd be fantastic, but that's not required. Yes, ma'am.
How do you access the payment portal?
So good question. On your invoice, it's actually right on there, which a lot of people didn't know. So it's right above where the charges start. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to comment, you said we could use debit card or credit card.
Yes.
When we first started using it, we tried to use our debit card and our bank was not thrilled by putting an amount that big on the debit. And so, you know, we jumped through all kinds of hoops, making sure the credit limit was sufficient and everything. So what we ended up doing was using the option with the account number and routing number.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother with the debit card because you're gonna waste time and get frustrated, and if you're just starting a new endeavor, that's not good luck.
Okay. Good note. I did not know that. Thank you. So if you didn't hear her, she was saying that sometimes your bank does not like you to put a purchase so high using the debit card. So she experienced some issues. So that might be something that we would have to look into. But again, you do have the option to use like an ACH method where you're putting your banking information into it to pull it out. Similar to you're using bill pay. Instead of going through the bank to do it, you're just going through our portal and it pulls it straight from the bank instead of the bank holding a check, issuing it to us processing it.
And if you
Sorry. I know you don't want to hear from me anymore. But one clarification as well. If you go through the portal, you can control when the payment happens. I know we've been hearing, well, I don't want you to take my payment on this date. Don't worry, you can set up. If you want to pay on the 1st of the month, 2nd of the month, 5th of the month, whatever day works best for you, we can accommodate that. The only thing we recommend is that the payment is made prior to the 20th, that statements are generated. If you pay on the 20th on the portal, we might see it, but that has not come across to our billing system. So your payment might not show. And then one thing that I know Becca mentioned about bill pay, just so everybody is aware with bill pay. Now, if you have Bank of America, if you have Chase, it doesn't matter the bank, they all come in a batch. So if you schedule your payment on the 4th day of the month, that does not mean that check is physically here at Village on the Green on the 4th of the month. That is the date that the check was generated. But if in the system, Joe, Beverly, Robert, they all live at Village on the Green and they all set different dates, they will send the entire checks on the last person that set it up. So if Becca set it up on the 4th, but I set it up on the 6th is the day that they are gonna get mailed out. So guess what? There's another 3 to 4 days that we have to wait on the mail for them to come here. So you might say, hey, my bank reflects that my payment was made on the 4th, it's the 12th, what happened? Just for context, that's the situation with bill pay. Yes, it's very convenient for the residents. I use bill pay, don't get me wrong. But it might not be as efficient. I learned that the hard way as well. So, just clear. Sorry, bye.
Any other questions for me or Javier?
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I was here many months before I knew that this existed, and I only found it out because I fell in the same trap. Bank of America didn't send my check, even though it was gone from my account. It was not a Village on the Green. I got a double billing the next month, and I'm freaking out because I'm very protective of my credit rating. And so I discovered this, and it works very smoothly. So I recommend that if you are apprehensive about it at all, go have her help you set up, because it is easy, easy, easy. Okay, here's what's new. And we've had very loquacious speakers already this morning, so I will give us a short version of things in an attempt to make our 1 hour goal. Okay, the Ad Hoc Committee on Communications the data collection is well underway. I have a file folder here I could show you with about 100 or 150 different examples of gaps in communication. We know that this is a wonderful place to live, and there are many good things about it, but communication is not our current strength, and we can do better. And so we are working toward that. I welcome anyone who would like to work on this with me, and I thank the ones who already have. And I am acting as interim chair of this particular effort because I've not found someone else who wants to take this on as a primary responsibility. But I am convinced that this is something we can fix, and so I really want to work on that. It is a large problem, and we will tackle this big cookie one bite at a time until we can finally consume the whole cookie and not have communication gaps. We are in a situation with staff turnover that we have the opportunity to approach this in different ways and be successful about fixing things, but we need to let there be time and person power for that to occur. So this will be an ongoing effort. Here's some thoughts so far. The whole project is to match who has the information that we need, and this is across the board. It can be maintenance, it can be culinary, it can be all kinds of things, transportation. And then who needs it? Well, we need it as residents, but so do various staff members. There was an example recently of in the dining room when a entree item was requested and told that the server told the resident that it was not available. Well, in checking with Liz, it was determined that, oh yes, it was available. It's just the chef had not told the server that it was back in inventory. So it's more than just us that needs to know. There's several steps in this. And the way to do that, I have called communication avenues over here. And 4 of them, which have broad outreach, include the Green Horizons and the door hangers, Blackboard texts and emails, Channel 3 on Senior TV, and the Uniguest apps. This has the broadest reach for the most number of residents. Well, we know that there are difficulties in all 4 of these right now, and when I go through my list of gaps that people have reported to me, many of them could have been resolved or never happened in the first place if we had a better usage of these 4 things. And so my goal to begin with is to take the small bites of the cookie that I think we can address quickly. And the first one of those in my mind is the Blackboard access, Blackboard texts and emails. I think that the team members are doing a much better job of using that, but Sean, our IT person, has told us that only 78% of our residents actually have access to that. So I would like to target the remaining 22% and see what the issue is. Do you have electronic devices that could receive these if we've figured out what the gap is in getting them? Do you not have electronic devices and we need to find an alternative way for you to get this information? And those alternatives exist, but we need to know who needs them. Did you get the most recent Blackboard posting about the door painting in the 6 buildings? The Villa people may not have gotten this, it does not apply to them. But there was a text and an email. You might get one, you might get the other, you might get both, talking about that. If you got that, then you are hooked up and you're one of the 78% that's be able to get that information. But if you did not get it, then you maybe are one of the 22% and we need to help you find out what the barrier is. Stan?
The barrier with 22% is that people may have the wrong telephone number listed.
And that's why we need to go through them one at a time.
Telephone number instead of a
Right,
phone number.
right. Probably the biggest problem and the most easy to fix is that you may have put in a landline phone number, not in a cellular phone number. So if we can get a handle on that and make those changes for those people who have that option, then that will help us move forward in that. So that's one area for work to work on. The second area off of this list that I'm working on and thinking is something we can fix quickly is the Uniguest app. There are several old information or incorrect information on there, and I have determined who's got control and who can fix what. And my plan is to sit down with Sue and help her change the ones that she can control, and Sandy the ones that she can control, and make this as accurate as possible. There's stuff on there that's outdated, and so we need to clean that up. So those are 2 steps being taken in the next weeks coming up, but you can see there are millions more. The Green Horizons is probably our biggest problem right now, and also the one that's going to take the most work to fix. We had hoped that Amy would be able to take that over, and that did not work out. So it's being handled kind of piecemeal right now, but there's an effort in place to address all those issues. So we ask you please to have your patience as we work on this, and we're very aware, I'm as aware as you are, People who were having breakfast in the Breakfast Club on Saturday saw me stomp through there with my handle, my yellow marks all over this Green Horizons that we had. It really ruined my morning, and I tried to ruin their morning too by being so irritated. But we know it's wrong, so we're trying to address that. Okay. Then there are several avenues that have a much more narrow reach. The postings in the reception areas, all of our resident and town hall meetings, the villa and building meetings, the villa and building emails, the bulletin boards and elevator posters, and even spoken words. People tell you something that's not written down anywhere, but it's often just to you and the person standing next to you. It's a very narrow reach of the information, and the importance always is that it's as accurate as possible. Everybody's heard me say, if you hear a rumor or a piece of information, there's a 50-50 chance that it is wrong. And so always check with 2 or 3 or 4 other sources, make sure you're hearing the same thing, and then is it a reliable source? Is it somebody that probably has good information before we spread information that is not? The goal, ultimately, and I thank Jerry for helping me to focus this, she crystallizes things so well. Our goal is to provide communication that is accurate, it's specific, it's consistent, it's frequent, and it's timely. And so that's the goal. We can get to this, but it's going to take ongoing work, not just within the residents, team members, up, down, sideways, everywhere. But we can do this. We can do this. So anybody who's interested in having a conversation about this or helping or listening to me, I thank Kay Judkins and, where are you? There you are. I just blanked your name, Goldman. Marilyn Goldman, who I only exercise with 4 times a week, but you know, I'm up here and I'm scared of you guys, so. Anyway, she and Kay listened to me brainstorm, whine a little bit, in going through this whole list of gaps that I had collected up till that point. And I'm grateful for that. And if anybody else wants to be part of that brainstorming session, please let me know. And we'll just keep nibbling this cookie until it's all gone. Okay. I'll stop and Richard can come give you a quick update on the residents' activity review.
Thank you, Sue. And I thank all of you. And boy, do you have ideas. The ideas just piled in, and fortunately, Ann Blair stepped up and became co-chair of this effort. And I thank her because through her efforts, we were able to compile all this data in some logical form. I'm sorry. In addition to not speaking loudly, I'm having crazy hearing aid problems, and you know I have a deficit with that in the first place. So, at any rate, just accept I ask for your patience. So the ideas were wonderful and enlightening. Your responses to the activities that we're currently offering showed where we need to be focusing our efforts. The whole idea, or my whole idea behind all of this, is to be sure that we're utilizing the dollars to bring the greatest benefit for all of us. I know my goal at this stage in life is to make the best of each and every day that I have, to enjoy, to give back, and make sure that the programs that are coming to us are what we really are looking forward to participating in. And it's important for us to tell management what we really want to do. They aren't mind readers. They're a generation or two younger than we are. They think they know what we want, but it's up to us to voice our opinion and give them direction. You've done it. We've gotten the first step. Please keep your ideas coming. At this point, you can get them to me or to Ann. we have given the report, it's been reduced to a spreadsheet and 15-page report. That report has been delivered to the Lifestyle Committee for them to look through, prioritize, and when we have the appropriate lifestyle director to share that information with that person so that they have a perspective and understanding. So again, I thank you. I think it's been a good program. And the bottom line, keep telling us what you need and what you're interested in. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, Ann, come talk to us about lifestyle.
I'm not going to say too much about lifestyle. We do know that we don't have a lifestyle director, and it's Angela and Kelly are going to do the interim, and I've been working with Angela certainly the last 2 days to iron out a few things. I just want, what's that? Oh my, it reverberates right through you, doesn't it? Oh wow. I do want to speak to 2 particular things that have been on the calendar that merit some comment. On August 26th, that's the day that we're going to thank the fire department with what is now a triannual thank you with a meal, a complete meal that will be delivered. Now there's a sign-up sheet at the front desk. There probably only about 5 people can go, 6 counting the driver, to deliver. But I think over time it will give an opportunity for every single resident here who wants to be a part of it and personally thank people at the fire station. You'll have an opportunity to go. So don't be worried that it's a cutoff of 6 people. It will keep coming and coming and coming, and this will go on through the years, we hope. That's on the 22nd. On the 29th, there was this event called Prom Night, and it was not well received, and Amy tried to redo it a little bit and came up with something called an Eras Night, where rather than dressing just in prom attire, we would dress in whatever we're comfortable in or whatever era represents us or how we feel about it. That has now been canceled entirely. And it will be moved to probably October or November. So if you bought your prom dress and rented your tuxedos or have them and all anxious to wear them, you'll still get a chance, and we'll all come out and do something and have fun, however they plan to do it for us. What else did we decide I was going to talk about? Oh, the Foundation Advisory Committee. I wanted you to know that we have processed, the FAC has processed for LifeSpace Foundation and Village on the Green, and through donations to the Memorial Fund for Al Porter, the pool chair is now moving forward. Exactly when it'll appear, I don't know, but that's a picture of a facsimile that came from Lenny. I wasn't going to process this thing and send it to up through the channels without some picture of what we wanted to spend our money on. But and I did send this to Marjorie. She's aware of it, to know that we've made a few baby steps toward getting this thing done. And of course, donations are still accepted. That would be to the LifeSpace Foundation, and it would be designated on a check or whatever, exactly what you want it for, which would be for the Memorial Fund for Al Porter. So I think that's about it for me for now. Obviously, there are a million changes that are going to be coming along, and we'll try to get them out to you as fast as we learn about them. Okay?
Thank you. Questions for her?
I think the biggest question, maybe for everyone, is that with an interim communication, people in charge of communication, do you think we'll go back to weekly door hangers for a while? I don't know, in terms of what kind of distribution and what kind of deadlines, because some of these things are really important.
I don't think those questions have been answered yet. They have started to be asked. If you have feelings about that, emailing them to Angela is probably a good idea. I am aware of at least one resident that has done that already, because I heard about it through the grapevine. But you know, it does not ever hurt for more than one person to express desire for a particular something. And I would agree that the system of one Green Horizons, beginning of the month, lots of information, and then the weekly updates, including the menus, were working just fine, I thought. So we hope that maybe we can go back to that. You know, things change so fast here, minute to minute, that even that's hard to keep them updated a week at a time. But a month at a time, and even twice a month, appears not to be working, and I think we would all agree with that. Okay, let me move on. Why am I going the wrong way? There we go. Jerry's turn.
Though at the moment it feels chaotic and we keep wondering, you know, who's our next leader and what will happen. But one thing that has remained stable, and it's what I'd really like to talk about, and then that'll segue into this slide, and that is, I think what has remained stable is the friendliness, the helpfulness, the generosity of spirit that has been shown to us by our staff, our team members who still help us get out of the rain, get out of the monsoons, get out of the carts, that still continue to do the jobs that they were hired to do, whether it's security or transportation, all of the CNAs that work in the Oaks and in the memory care. We had hoped this to feature Sue and Sandy and Cassina and Arnett, the two ladies at the Oaks, as well as our two folks that do the most interaction with residents and guests. And so sometime we've interviewed them, and they'll be great once we can finally get that published. But my whole point is that I think that one consistency, besides having wonderful neighbors and friends that live here at Village on the Green, is the staff. And so I'll just add one more plug for the Team Appreciation Fund. It's wonderful to announce that we've doubled the amount that's been collected over the last 2 months from the first 4 months. So we're really moving it along. And I just continue to encourage you to think about what you can do to say thank you to our staff, especially when they too are looking for leadership that is, sometimes just not there for the moment. Now, how do we maximize, whether it's a gift to the Team Appreciation Fund or for our Al Porter Chair or wherever you donate? That is a question that so many people have asked. And so the Team Appreciation Fund, in conjunction with the LifeSpace Foundation and with the whole philanthropic community here at Village on the Green, is offering a 1-hour seminar on tax smart giving. Basically, how do you maximize your donations and minimize any tax implication from that, so that the money you do give, all of it, can go where you want it to give, and that you can receive a tax deduction. And there's so many other things that we have here available to us that I can't list them all, and that's why we're bringing in an expert. She's the head of the development, head of the foundation development, and she'll come and talk to us and have a lot of literature, a lot of examples. It's been wonderful to hear ideas from other communities, and I think we'll be able to just find the best practices. But again, I just would encourage you, and I don't know the frequency of the communication, but I hope this will be word of mouth, and that we'll use even the flyers and whatever broad reach we can and narrow reach to let people know that this really can be a wonderful seminar, not only for giving here at Village on the Green, but also wherever you give. How do you maximize those dollars and minimize the tax implications? So I encourage you to come on Wednesday the 27th. Thanks.
Plus, she promised great cookies.
Oh yes, ideas and cookies.
So don't forget. All right, with 6 minutes to go, Stan, it's your turn, and look what slide I found for you.
Well, that sums it up. Are there any other questions? Real quick, once again with our Great Green Horizon, I think there was an announcement in it that Sean would be giving a monthly or weekly briefing on IT issues. That is incorrect. He will be doing it at least once a month. He's here to help you on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 3 o'clock. He is sitting next to Sue Popejoy and will answer your questions. And some of the questions are illuminating. We did have one question yesterday where a person thought that their computer had died and didn't know what to do with it. Often we drop our TV remotes or we drop devices and the batteries come out. Very simple lesson. If you have a battery, A, B, AAA, there's a flat bottom. The flat bottom always goes against the spring, and the little one on the top goes against the flat plate. If you put them in backwards, nothing works. Okay. So anyway, think about that. It's a simple one. The other thing is you learn from Lenny and the gang, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty if you're trying to undo something. You've heard the story. We're not sure where we stand on when the good news will arrive. The good news is we've got something that basically works right now. Yes, we have troubles with it during when the weather is not good, but we've got something. We don't, and at every level, from myself, from Jim, from LifeSpace, we don't want to bring in anything that doesn't work and puts us further behind the power curve. I know some of you are still interested in recordings, and there are some folks here who have signed up to get TiVo issues. And so, you got someplace to go? All right. Anyway, so that's about it. If you have any other questions, though, on the TV IT issues, we're trying to get it here as soon as possible, and we still haven't been given relief to turn on those magic unit that will cover the whole campus. Thank you.
Can you speak to Sean's little kiosk out there, the iPad?
Oh, well, there is a kiosk out there where you can input your area that you want. Just don't say, hey, give me a call. Try and outline the product that you have. There are magnets that you can take with that information to put on your fridge. I can't put it on mine, it's gotta work on this. But anyway, there is a QR code you can scan, but call 5410 and leave a message and detail what you want them to answer. So that's the best way to get service from him. And you gotta realize, he's one guy, and he's got a big queue of people coming in. He doesn't even have an email address yet here, so communication, excuse me.
Yes, he's referring to that little iPad that's standing on a white stand out there near the end of the left side of Sue's desk, where you can put in your name and unit number and phone number and a brief description of your tech issue. That generates a ticket, a work order ticket, and that helps Sean get to you and get you in the queue. Okay. We have exactly 2 minutes. Are there any questions that I can answer or direct to anybody? If not, I will thank you for coming, and we are adjourned.
Thank you for your time.